Now let's decode what do we mean by JWT or JSON Web Tokens. Basically, we use them to perform authentication and authorization to certain services we are providing. Before dealing with the details, let's take a look at what one token consists. So here in the JWT.io website, we see an example token. So it has a payload, as we can see, a name, expire time. Also, it has a header where it's specified its algorithm of encryption. At the end, we have a signature verification. So as you can see here, we have one secret which we can change. And this secret is shared between the server and the client. So as you can see, when we change the signature, its verification, it's also changed because it uses the header, the payload, it's encoding them, and also using our secret in order to construct the whole signature verification. In practice, what does it mean? That we can have this token both on the client and the server, and only if both of them are using the same secret, the information will be verified and used as valid. So anyone who is changing the payload or the data, also this reflects into change of the signature, and if the signature is changed, the server will not accept it. So the attackers cannot access. So the attacker's attempt will be failed. At the same, it's true if someone is touching the bits of the signature, we see that automatically the signature is invalid. So let's take a look at the presentation now. We use those tokens to perform service requests. And as we already discussed, we have a secret key which is residing both on the server as well as on the client. On the server side, we can create a token by providing a payload or our data, our secret, and how many days it will expire, and we create a signature based on this information. This token can be issued, and whenever the client is providing a username and a password and they are valid, this token is then provided for the client. The basic process is to create authentication first. So we are providing only once username and password, and the server is replying by giving us a token. And this token then we can use in subsequent requests towards other services without having the need to relog into those services. After being authenticated to a central authentication service, we can use the issued token in order to perform requests to microservices. In order to do this, we need to compose authorization header. Here we see an example. On the client side, we are using a fetch request, and we are just placing our token, so the issued token, inside of the authorization header. This allows us to perform requests towards certain URLs and to include inside our token. On the server side, when we receive such requests sent by the client, we use a middleware. Here we are using the JWT verifier, and this middleware role is to verify whether this token is valid. And if it's valid, it actually allows us to see this information, here the secret information. So that's basically how the server-side authorization works. In order to recap, JWT is a convenient method for transferring data, just like using a public key, because all the persons in between can see our JWT token, but only the authenticated client and server can exchange the information in between them. The second benefit of using JWT is that we need to identify only once into a central authentication service, and then with the issued token, as long as it's valid, we can request services without the need to relog in to those services. which is very convenient mechanism for performing authorization in distributed environments.